Did you know that the Spanish Grand Prix, first contested over 100 years ago, is one of the oldest races in the world? But since then, we've witnessed a lot of new cars and upgrades coming into the racetracks, and the Ferrari has never failed to amaze us since its birth, right? So what have they brought up next? Let's see what stunning upgrades Ferrari has revealed for the Spanish GP.
Whoa, he's nearly into the back
hit
of him, and he damages the front wing! Carlos Sainz talking about pushing.
The Ferrari F1 crew is endeavouring to pivot things around with a string of advancements to their car over the next few races. As per the Italian edition of motorsport.com, the new rendition of the motorcar will hit the track around the time of the Barcelona Grand Prix. It's no mystery that Ferrari has toiled to keep up with the frontrunners this season, with Charles Leclerc in 10th place after 2 DNFs and Carlos Sainz sharing 5th place. The crew sits 4th among constructors, 30 points behind the leaders. But they're not giving up just yet. Behind the stages, the crew is operating tirelessly to make modifications to help them gain ground in the remaining races. One key evolution is the switch to downwash side pods, which a bunch of the field has gone for. Ferrari has been clinging to their own side pod configuration, but after discovering their current setup wasn't functioning, Ferrari ultimately chose to join the party and embrace the downwash side pods. Ferrari familiarized its foremost major Formula 1 upgrade package in Barcelona, including a new rear wing, underfloor, and reworked detail at the rear of the side pods. The rear wing is potentially a higher downforce rendition for Barcelona. It has a more comprehensive central throat section, but the main plane isn't as highly cambered, so the throat of the scope is slightly higher. When they say potential higher downforce, it is because these two shifts will presumably cancel out each other. Regardless, with the new version having a longer parallel flap section, it will be more influential when DRS is open, so it should be able to render a higher top speed. And we all comprehend that is one of Ferrari's feeble points. The underfloor is the major expansion. Where Mercedes has presented a copy of the Ferrari outboard edge vane, Ferrari sacked it and now has a much more straightforward outer edge detail with a simple turned up outer edge. Ferrari maintains the inlet vent just behind that turned up section. This lets the back tyre squirt in juice when the rear tyre spins onto the track to pull airflow through its small tunnel in the foot area. This is crucial to lowering the risk of porpoising if it is just a flat texture. The main modification in the underfloor is in the leading fringe zone. The detachment point of the radius leading edge now falls down more as it goes outboard. The outer turning vane is also loftier and rises above the floor's top surface. This will render more outwash earlier in the flow system around that spot. The other splitters are in the same place, but might have more curvature again, increasing the outwash from this area. We must remember that teams that don't suffer from porpoising are only a small development away from generating it, so changes in this area need to be confirmed with the circuit running. The rear corner of the side pod also looks like it has been increased in volume just below the top rear wishbone forward leg. These two shots are from slightly different angles, so it's difficult to see how much and why Ferrari would have done this. Ferrari appears to have removed the floor stay. However, the lower bracket is still in place, so it might just be testing the stiffness of the new floor to see if it really needs it now. If Ferrari doesn't, a few grams can be saved by taking it off. Ferrari has also tweaked the rear brakes, inner fairing, and turning vanes like Mercedes. Any load you can produce here helps stabilize the car's rear, especially under braking when the car's rear is moving. The original plan was to introduce the upgrade to Imola. However, they've confirmed that they'll bring them at the Barcelona Grand Prix. But that's not all. The crew is also making other transformations to the car. A new diffuser will be accommodated at the forthcoming Baku race, and the rear suspension will be taken care of in 3 races at Imola. All these changes came after Ferrari analyzed data from the previous races and identified the problems with their current design. And with the team's upgrade plan in place, fans of the prancing horse can look forward to a more competitive team in future races. Not just the exterior. Ferrari has also upgraded their engines. Leclerc and Sainz each have new V6 internal combustion engines, while Leclerc also has a new MGUH and control electronics. The control electronics change signifies Leclerc already on his 3rd rendition of that season feature, which implies a 10-place grid penalty. After Ferrari had made a prudent change, he retired from the season opener in Bahrain because he had a concern with the control electronics. The report that Sainz also has an untried V6 in Jeddah is surprising. Ferrari is not the only crew propelled into modifications already. McLaren has given Lando Norris a new Mercedes engine, turbocharger, MGUH and MGUK.
This was the move for Lando Norris out of the wheel tracks. There's just enough dry tarmac to fight away by, and through goes Lando Norris.
And Piastri is right behind him as well.
In addition to the pneumatic pressure concern that eventually engulfed Norris's Grand Prix in Bahrain, he also mourned a software problem early on, leading to his energy deployment shortly stopping. It is indistinct which of these concerns, if either of them at all, are the reason for the new parts. The pace with which Max Verstappen is nearing the gap is as unsettling as the speed.
The Dutch master has produced something special in the wet, in the dry. Max Verstappen wins the Monaco Grand Prix for surely one of his most satisfying victories.
No longer just on the straights of Red Bull altered by the current updates, which also lets the team lower the weight of the RB18 car. Some updates were fetched to Miami, but most were presented at the Emiliano-Romagna GP and ascertained emphasized in acquiring them a hat-trick. This indicates that Ferrari requires a speed change from the Barcelona Grand Prix, which takes place at the Circuit de Catalunya. The Spanish Grand Prix, therefore, evolves very crucial for the Maranello cruise options for the rest of the 2022 Formula 1 season, as influential advancements will arrive on the F175 car. And as Charles Leclerc comprehends, they are very much required. The updates will be rudimentary for the entire championship. They desire to be able to take a leap forward in the following races. They toiled with the more delicate tyres, but in the end, they were likewise competitive with the hard ones. And they also thought they could pass their foes after the restart, but Max had better speed than Ferrari. Ferrari manager Matteo Benito authorized the updates for the race in Barcelona. It will be an influential package, but not the most significant of the season. It will be a technological altercation that will persist for a long time, and won't be a single innovation that creates a contrast. At only the second race of the season, Ferrari has been compelled to familiarize new power unit segments on both autos, which it portrayed as a further safeguard after the Bahrain GP season opener. Do you think these changes would support Ferrari to win the title, or will they be able to challenge all their foes? Can Ferrari have a comeback in the season with these new changes? Comment below whom you think would lift the title. Until next time, goodbye.